Floyd Mayweather, once the undisputed king of boxing, now finds himself at the center of a storm that threatens to unravel the empire he spent decades building. His story, marked by unparalleled success in the ring and a larger-than-life persona outside it, has taken a dramatic turn. Reports of a $42 million financial collapse, strained family ties, and questionable business decisions have cast a shadow over his legacy. What was once a tale of triumph has morphed into a cautionary narrative about the perils of unchecked wealth, ego, and the refusal to adapt. Mayweather's rise to fame was nothing short of extraordinary. With an undefeated 50-0 record, he dominated boxing, turning fights into multi-million-dollar spectacles. His nickname, Money, wasn't just a catchy moniker, it was a reflection of his ability to generate staggering wealth. He boasted of earning over $350 million from single fights, with paydays that made headlines and solidified his image as a financial juggernaut. His public persona thrived on displays of opulence, diamond-encrusted watches, fleets of luxury cars, and cash stacks flaunted on social media. To the world, Mayweather was untouchable, a man who had mastered the art of winning, both in the ring and in life. But beneath the glitz, cracks were forming. Stories of reckless spending, unpaid debts, and fractured relationships began to surface, painting a picture of a man whose financial empire was far less stable than he let on. His own family, once a tight-knit unit that supported his ascent, has publicly expressed concern and disappointment. Floyd's father, in a candid interview, described how their relationship deteriorated after a heated argument sparked by a seemingly trivial conversation about a car. "When money comes, people change," he said, his voice heavy with regret. He recalled a time when he and Floyd were inseparable, working together to climb the ranks of boxing. But as fame and fortune grew, so did the distance between them. An argument during an HBO event and another over a car marked the beginning of a rift that never fully healed. "We never had no argument all of a sudden," he lamented, struggling to make sense of how wealth had fractured their bond. Floyd's uncle, Jeff Mayweather, echoed similar sentiments, admitting he no longer understands his nephew's actions. Jeff, who once trained Floyd, described a post-retirement life that seems chaotic and directionless. "I don't really know what's going on," he said, noting Floyd's penchant for buying buildings, homes, and other ventures without a clear strategy. To Jeff, Floyd's continued participation in exhibition fights, despite retiring multiple times, signals an inability to let go of the spotlight. "I haven't seen him in quite some time," Jeff added, underscoring the growing disconnect within the family. The irony is stark. A man who built his career on discipline and control now appears to be spiraling, chasing money and fame at the expense of stability. Mayweather's financial troubles are not just family gossip, they're backed by troubling accounts from those who've worked closely with him. A former business partner revealed that even during Floyd's peak earning years, his spending outpaced his income. He was burning through more than he made, the partner claimed, estimating that Floyd's monthly expenses reached $5 to $7 million. This didn't account for taxes, ongoing bills, or other responsibilities, which he often ignored. "You make $100 million, but if you're spending like that, it disappears fast," the partner said, shaking his head. The mindset that allowed Mayweather to dominate boxing, unshakable confidence and a go-it-alone attitude, became a liability in the financial world. His refusal to surround himself with trusted advisors or delegate decisions led to risky investments and poor money management. One particularly egregious example came after a fight with Aaron Chambers, when Mayweather reportedly traveled to Monaco and bet $11 million on black at a casino. The story, whether true or exaggerated, encapsulates his cavalier attitude toward money. "You work so hard to get it and then throw it away," a former associate remarked, pointing out the disconnect between Floyd's influence as a role model and his reckless behavior. For young fans who once idolized him, these stories are a stark reminder that wealth, without respect or discipline, is fleeting. Mayweather's love for theatrics only compounded his troubles. His entrance into Mexico on a tank, complete with a flashy entourage, was a spectacle designed to keep him in the headlines. But such displays come with hefty price tags, often for little long-term value. "It's not just showing off," a source close to him said. "It's a compulsion to maintain an image, even when it doesn't make sense anymore." This obsession with appearances has led to a lifestyle that's unsustainable, with luxury purchases piling up faster than his ability to pay for them. Perhaps the most damning allegations came from Gervonta Davis, a boxer mentored by Floyd. Davis claimed that Mayweather was held in Dubai over unpaid debts tied to jewelry purchases. The incident, if true, suggests that Floyd's financial struggles are more severe than previously thought. Davis went public with the accusation, posting on social media and challenging Floyd to go live to prove he wasn't in trouble. Floyd's response, a cryptic video mocking Davis, did little to quell the rumors. Instead, it fueled speculation that the man once seen as invincible was now grappling with creditors and a tarnished reputation. People in Dubai want their money, Davis wrote, hinting at a pattern of delayed or avoided payments that has eroded trust among vendors. This isn't the first time Floyd's financial troubles have made headlines. Years ago, Logan and Jake Paul suggested he was broke, a claim dismissed as trolling at the time. But as more stories emerge, their words carry new weight. Insiders report that Mayweather has a history of acquiring luxury items, watches, cars, jewelry, on credit, often failing to settle the bills. It's living on borrowed time, one contact said. You can't keep that up forever, no matter how much you've earned. Even his boasts about owning vast real estate portfolios, including claims of purchasing 60 apartment buildings in New York City, have come under scrutiny. Sources suggest these deals were either exaggerated or never fully materialized, raising questions about the truth behind his public image. Mayweather's refusal to address these issues head-on only deepens the skepticism. He's long prided himself on being his own boss, making deals and signing checks without intermediaries. "I'm the smart one," he once bragged, claiming he'd legalized bank robbing through his business acumen. But that same independence has become his Achilles heel. In boxing, going solo worked because he controlled every aspect of his craft. In business, however, surrounding oneself with experts is a strength, not a weakness. Floyd's insistence on handling everything himself has led to a string of missteps, from ill-advised investments to neglecting tax obligations. Podcaster Joe Rogan recently highlighted one of Floyd's most glaring oversights, his failure to pay taxes. He owes the IRS over $20 million, Rogan said, pointing out that neglect, not deception, is the root of the problem. Mayweather's wealth, while immense, isn't immune to federal scrutiny. You can't just write a check for $25 million and think it's enough, Rogan explained, describing a scenario where Floyd underestimated his tax burden, only to be blindsided by a larger bill. This pattern of oversight has put him on the IRS's radar, a predicament that could escalate into a legal nightmare if left unchecked. Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn offered a blunt take on Floyd's current trajectory. He needs the money, Hearn said, suggesting that Mayweather's continued exhibitions and erratic investments are driven by necessity, not choice. For someone who was supposed to have amassed a fortune large enough to retire comfortably, this desperation is telling. Hearn believes Floyd's legacy, once unassailable, is being diminished by these post-retirement antics. He was one of the best ever, Hearn acknowledged, but carrying on like this, it chips away at what he built. Even those closest to Floyd have felt the sting of his financial decisions. Rapper 50 Cent, a longtime friend, revealed a painful fallout that began when Floyd faced jail time. 50 stepped in to manage Mayweather Promotions, investing $2 million of his own money to keep the business afloat. But when Floyd returned, he denied ever asking for help and refused to repay the debt. He acted like he didn't know anything, 50 said, visibly frustrated. The betrayal ended their friendship, a stark reminder of how Floyd's obsession with money has cost him personal relationships. "We can't fuck up the money," Floyd once said, emphasizing that finances trump everything, even loyalty. Floyd's ego, while a driving force behind his success, has also become a liability. Gervonta Davis hinted at this, describing Floyd's reluctance to see other fighters surpass him. "He don't never want to see nobody be better than him," Davis said, pointing to a competitive streak that borders on insecurity. This need to remain the biggest star in the room has led Floyd to make choices that undermine his legacy, from picking fights with protégés to clinging to the spotlight through exhibitions. Fans, too, are starting to see through the facade. Mayweather's claims of owning over 100 buildings or earning $350 million per fight have been debunked, with actual figures closer to $60 million in some cases. These exaggerations, once dismissed as harmless bravado, now fuel distrust. Social media is rife with comments questioning his truthfulness, with many pointing out that his flashy lifestyle doesn't align with the reality of his finances. "He's not as rich as he says," one fan wrote, echoing a sentiment that's gaining traction. Joe Rogan offered a psychological angle, suggesting that Floyd's obsession with luxury, $17 million watches, $15 million car collections, may mask deeper insecurities. Real confidence doesn't need constant display, Rogan said, contrasting Floyd's public persona with his private struggles. Even his famous discipline, like jogging home from nightclubs while others partied, seems less admirable in light of his financial chaos. It's a reminder that discipline in one area doesn't guarantee success in another. As Mayweather's star fades, the lessons from his downfall are clear. Wealth, without wisdom, is a ticking time bomb. Independence, while admirable, can become isolation without trusted advisors. And an image built on exaggeration will eventually crumble under scrutiny. For a man who once seemed invincible, these are bitter pills to swallow. Yet, there's still time for Floyd to rewrite his story. By confronting his financial missteps, rebuilding relationships, and embracing humility, he could salvage his legacy. But that would require a shift in mindset, a willingness to let go of the money persona and face the man beneath. For now, the world watches, wondering if Floyd Mayweather will rise again or become another cautionary tale of fame's fleeting nature.